Okay guys, this is FRQ 364. It is a particle motion, very common to be on the AP exam. So first thing you should see is that you have this function v of t, which is quite complicated, and you're going to want to go ahead and store that, okay, on your calculator as v of t. And then you can even, before you hit store, do the such that symbol, which is under the control. It's the shift equals, and then put in 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 3.5. And then you'll even have it stored for just the domain that was given to you. Okay, so let's get started with A. Oh, by the way, notice this. It gives you an initial position. So this is, if you're going to use X for the position, X of 0 equals -5. And see, this X tells you what to use for your position function. You know how sometimes it's S of t, sometimes it's X of t, so they kind of gave that to you there. I want you to find the acceleration. All right, so let's find the acceleration at time t. So you'll say A of 3 is equal to V prime of 3. And then you are going to use your calculator. All you have to do is put a number here. It's going to be, it's going to be -2.118. And you'll use your menu calculus function, and then 2 for derivative at a point, and then put in 3 for the point, and then go through the menu, and then when you hit enter, you'll put the function in v of t, and it'll find it for you. So okay, point wise, that was worth 1 point. 1 point for the correct answer, so +1 for that. Okay, let's go on to part B. Okay, part B says find the position. So now you would find X of t. So, or X of 3, sorry. That's equal to, now this is important, X of 0 plus 0 to 3 of Vt dt. If you're using integration, okay, then this is like the plus c, right? When you have the plus c and you have to find out what it is backwards using antiderivatives. But if you're using integration, you would write it like this. This is the initial position. If you want to know how far it went by 3, or where it is, not how it changed, it wants the position of it at t equals 3, then you have to use the initial condition. So it would be, that's equal to -5 times integral of 0 to 3 v of t dt, and putting that into your calculator, -5 plus, you get -1.760. All right, how is this scored? Okay, so you get 3 points for this. 1 point for having 0 to 3 of Vt somewhere, right? You get 1 point for either saying X of 0 or -5 for having the initial condition, and 1 point for the answer. So that was part B. Let's move on to part C. Okay. So part C wants you to evaluate v of t, integral of v of t, and tell you what it is, and then the integral of the absolute value of v of t, and say what it is. And this is an easy question. We know. We know how to do it. I do want you to notice they changed it to 3.5. Okay, so got to always watch those endpoints when they're asking you questions. So the first thing you would do is actually solve them. So 0 to 3.5 of v of t dt is equal to 2.844, and 0 to 3.5 of the absolute value of v of t dt equals 3.737. Okay, and then you have to say what they are. So 0 to 3.5 v of t dt is the displacement, use that word displacement, of the particle from 0 less than t less than or equal to 3.5. And 0 to 3.5 of the absolute value of v of t dt is the total distance traveled of the particle from 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 3.5. Okay, so that was pretty easy. I hope you got the points on that. It would be, this one is worth 3 points also. You get 1 point for having both of these answers right. So you have to get them both right to get the point. I think maybe they might give you a half and a half. I'm not sure, but that's what it says, 1 point for both answers. And then 1 point for having displacement of the particle and 1 for having total distance traveled. So that was part C, and we've got one more part. Part D. A particle moves along the x-axis with a second one, and it gives you a new function, same interval, and what time are they moving at the same velocity? So in this case, you're just going to set the derivative of this equal to v of t. So let's see, how would we write that? I'm going to start by writing that I have x2 prime of t, get the derivative, is equal to 2t minus 1. And then I'll say 2t minus 1 is equal to v of t and then now here is where you will use your calculator again and use the solve, okay? And you would say 2t minus 1 equals v of t, and then comma t, and it gives you the answer 1.571. Okay, so this is worth 2 points. That should give you 9. You get 1 point for setting 2t minus 1 equal to v of t. And all you can do is write v of t. I guess you could write out that whole function, but v of t works just as good. And the second point is for 1.571. So those are the 2 points. All right, so that was FRQ 364.